being of a different heritage is bears also some advantage, if I can say, because uh, you are very recognizable among other people, and of course, people remember you, and that can be a good thing, but also a bad thing.
Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. I'm Cynthia Chaplin, and this is Voices. Every Wednesday, I will be sharing conversations with international wine industry professionals, discussing issues in diversity, equity, and inclusion through their personal experiences working in the field of wine. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and rate our show wherever you get your pods. Hello, welcome to Voices. This is me, Cynthia Chaplin, and today I'm so happy to have Lia Falconieri with me on Voices. We've been trying very hard to get this conversation going, so we're both very happy to be together today. Lia lives in Piemonte, where she works at Chiek, the family winery founded in 1985 by her father, Remo Falconieri, and they create the most incredible wines from the native grape Erbaluce, a white grape, which I was very lucky to taste at Grande Langhe in Torino just a couple of weeks ago. So thank you so much for taking time out. I know it's a very busy time of year. I'm so delighted to speak to you, Lia.
So thank you very much, Cynthia, for inviting me. I'm very happy to be with you today.
Well, I love your story. You're such a very open and humble person. You call yourself a factotum at Chiek, and the word means an employee who does all kinds of work. I love this description of yourself. I think it resonates with a lot of women in the wine sector. We all do lots and lots of jobs, not just one. So tell us about what's an average day like in the life of Lia at Chiek.
Oh, well, Cynthia, I think that being a factotum is kind of the job of every woman in the world, in the wine industry and out, meaning that we must be ready for anything that comes in our day. So, with our family, with our job, and especially in a very small business like ours, we need to do a little bit of everything. So a little bit like a jack of all trades, but we are always trying to do our best. Meaning we start in the morning while reading emails, trying to categorize more urgent things and things that can be postponed and be done later. We don't have a very we have also something planned, and so we have to put everything together and try to reach at least at lunchtime. Then lunchtime we can make break and try to plan the afternoon, but always as many things you cannot think in advance, so sometimes you just go and do whatever is needed.
Yes, I think that's true for everyone. Sometimes life throws you a curveball and you find yourself doing something that wasn't on the schedule. So I think your approach to being flexible is a really, really good one. Um, I know that you were born in Seoul, South Korea. So this is really interesting me. Uh, can you share with us a little bit about the backstory of your journey into Italian wine? It's not every day that I'm at a wine conference and I meet a woman with South Korean heritage running a winery in Piemonte. And I'm sure you get some, fairly surprised reactions from time to time. So tell us a little bit about your journey from Seoul into San Giorgio di Canavese in Piemonte.
So like many other people of my generation, Korean people of my generation, I was adopted by an Italian family, and that's how I came to be in San Giorgio Canavese in 1971. So, as many people say, I've been very lucky because I was adopted in a family that at the time my father was really doing another job, but after 10, 15 years, I started the wine business. So that's why I think myself so lucky being of a different heritage in those years, meaning the 70s, wasn't so difficult in a land like San Giorgio in Italy, because there were many people coming from abroad. So many uh, I never had like uh, I never lived bad situation like racism in my small town. I think people were more curious about my difference, but not they didn't have like a bad feeling about foreigners. People were curious about me. They wanted to know, and being of a different heritage is bears also some advantage, if I can say, because uh, you are very recognizable among other people, and of course people remember you, and that can be a good thing but also a bad thing depending depending on you. And also, thinking about my personal story, I think that being an adoptee in a very apparent way uh, is is something that help you think and reflect about mm, in depth about life, and see if you that makes this I don't know how to express this. Sometimes you guess if you deserve what you got.
That's such an interesting thing to think about.
That is probably it's something that everybody should think about. But being but adoptive people uh, often are confronted with this thought more often than other people, maybe.
That's a really interesting point. I think that's a very introspective point to make. I'm not sure many people would think that, but I agree with you. It's a very interesting point of view. And it's interesting what you said about having, you know, no bad situations in your little town of San Giorgio, which is lovely to hear. And you referenced your father, Remo. I know he was working at Olivetti, which everyone worked at Olivetti in those days, um, as a typewriter designer, I think. And you know, I mentioned he started the winery in 1985. You studied economics at the university in Torino, so did you think you'd go into wine with your dad? How did it
Well,
all happen?
not really at the time. I started university during the 80s, so it was a very different times compared to today. No, it really was 1990. So we have really a different view of the future compared to today. Everything was still growing, and our business was very small at the beginning of the story of our winery. Um, let's say my father started mm, without a business plan. Our winery was really like a Saturday and Sunday hobby turned into a job. But at the beginning, it was just a way to spend time doing something that really you were really passionate about, but without like a business plan, without many mm, plans for the future. So at the time, I started university thinking, well, I will look for a good job in the future, but I'm I'm happy with my career, meaning that what I learn and the experience that I made in university can be put it at the service of our winery. And but at the beginning, really, I wasn't thinking about that at the time.
I don't think anybody thinks about going to work for their parents when they're young.
Yes, that's
I
true.
think that comes later.
That's not so easy, meaning that. yes, you share all your day, meaning that at the time I was still living with my family, so we were working 24/7. That's and all, we were always talking about the wine, the winery, and our vineyards, and so it was kind of tough, and also the relationship with father and daughter was something that was inside the winery, but also outside, and it was very difficult. Also because my father is not very young. Our My father is now 92, so it is almost 40 years older than me. So we belong to very different generations and different way of thinking.
I think you and I had very similar things when we were small. I think we're about the same age, and my father was also quite a bit older than my mother. So one of the things people don't think about when they think of romantic Italian wineries is that the families have to live there and work together and try not to kill each other. So I think it's a good point to bring out that it wasn't something you planned, but it happened as the business grew. And now you're also a member of Le Donne del Vino here in Italy, which is the association for women working in all aspects of the wine sector in Italy. I was a member of Donne del Vino when I was living in Lazio. I really must do something to renew my membership now that I'm in Verona. I want to ask you how you view the role of the association. For people who are listening who don't know, there have been a couple of tragedies in the past few years. A couple of women who were members of Le Donne del Vino who were murdered by their partners or ex-husbands. Um, it's become quite a talking point. So, how do you view the role of the association? What do you think the main goals are of the women who are members now? What's the mission of Le Donne del Vino now in
Well, I am a
2025?
very long associate of Le Donne del Vino because I was lucky that our colleague Michela Marenko presented me at the association in 2002. So it's been 23 years. Le Donne del Vino Association has been very important for my personal and professional growth during the last 23 years, because I think I entered the association in 2002 thanks to Michaela Marenko that presented me to the association when I was probably 31 or 32 years old. Well, at that time, the especially in this land, the wine sector was very different. There were much fewer wineries, so and our region was kind of isolated from the other regions, the other wine producing regions of Piemonte. So for me, this was really a link to know other women working in the same sector, facing the same problems every day. Some of them were my my seniors, so and they were so kind and willing to share their experience and to help out the youngster, help the young girls to grow both professionally, doing sharing experience and doing things together. And so it was very, very helpful for me. And besides of personal and professional growth, I also found many good friends and very long gone friends. And now the association has grown a lot. There are many old members, new members, younger ladies, and I think that together we are much stronger, and we can afford to do interesting things that probably alone we couldn't do. And these days, our local president, has organized a training about um, artificial intelligence and marketing. So it's also a way to stay up to date with new things. Something that people working on their own with their own business, sometimes it's hard for us to keep up to date with new things, new technologies, and this. So the association is helping us a lot.
That's so important. I think we all get caught up in our own daily lives and having our own responsibilities and work to do. And there is so much new technology, as you said, AI being used in vineyards and in cellars and in marketing and communication. It's great to know that your chapter of Donna Del Vino is doing seminars to help people understand that technology. I just wanted to ask you, do you think that Le Donne del Vino will ever get to the point where they'll be able to provide scholarships for young women to do wine studies, like do provide some more mentorship, provide some more job opportunities and internships? What do you think?
No, yes, the association is already helping young girls. Our local Piedmontese association is helping women that are not only entering the sector, but also women that are working on wine, like sommelier. We are offering scholarship to sommeliers. We are helping women and also young boys studying in Istituto Alberghiero. So people that plan to, and so we support them by supplying wines to make take wine classes at school. So material for learning and sharing things. And I think that this role for the association is very important because sometimes um, the people studying at school lacks experience. So uh, by hosting them in our wineries and going to their schools and sharing our experience can help them. And also another something that I forgot to mention is that our association is not only a professional association among wine producers, but some also other women working on wines like sommelier, journalists, women running restaurants, and are also member of our association, and we are sharing views and the experience together. We are building a network. We are sharing also. We are also doing business with each other, and so it's a fundamental um, membership for me.
I'm so glad that it's keeping that dynamic atmosphere and moving along with the times because it's true what you said. Young people need to be supported financially. It's very expensive to study wine, take sommelier courses, and things like that, and also to get work experience. It's not easy to get an internship, an opportunity to have something practical to put on your curriculum. So I'm really happy to hear Le Donna del Vino is keeping that sort of um, really important, tangible work going because it is important. If we want to keep women in the wine industry, we have to do this. So um, I want to talk a little bit about your winery too. I know Chiek will be certified organic next year, and you've said that you're working on sustainability and a training project for the younger generation. And you work, as we know, primarily with Erbaluce, which is a native grape, and it's relatively unknown outside of Piemonte. You're making these fantastic quality sparkling wines and still wines with sort of a Burgundy esque style about them, champagne for the sparkling and Chablis in the beautiful Vigna Misobola wine that I tasted with you in January. But you've also got a wonderful sweet wine, a Ladium, that's kind of an Italian passito style. So you're blending these various styles, sort of a French style, Italian styles, promoting this grape that not many people know about. So tell me what the plans are for the winery, for the future of the marketing, the future of the wines. As everyone can tell listening to me, I fell in love with these wines when I tasted, and you were very enthusiastic about it. So I'd like to hear what the plans are, how you're going to use AI and marketing and grow the winery.
Well, people from in the wine business, we are most of us are very traditional people. It, and it's something that is probably due to many different reasons. One is that we have a strong link with our land and with its like traditional way of growing things, the different traditional grape varieties, and also there is a tradition of learning things on the job, meaning that many things are transmitted from father to son and or daughter, of course, and so I think that our winery will not leave the things that we the way we are not. I'm not going to change things a lot, meaning that Erbaluce is in our art, and it's the core of our winery, and it's also the things that we know to do better, meaning that we have built an experience in Erbaluce training and Erbaluce winemaking. So it's the things that we know how to make. I mean, um, I think that this is something that cannot be changed in our winery. We try every year to learn new skills, to learn new ways, or to improve the way we to do our to make our wines. We try to be always more attentive to the environment and not to take from our land more than we can give back. And but Erbaluce will remain the focus of our winery. I think I cannot see a future for our winery without Erbaluce.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I like the idea of not taking more from the land than you can give back. That's a key principle to sustainability. And I know you built a new winery about 10 years ago. Um, let's just talk a little bit about the next generation. This focus on sustainability, the certification of organic coming up next year. What do you think will be your legacy when you decide to retire? If you ever do, I doubt you will. Your dad is 90; he still comes into the winery, so I suspect you'll be doing that. Um, what do you see coming in the future with sustainability, with the new winery, and the next generation at Cheek?
That's it's tough because it's it's a particular moment in the life of our winery, meaning that my father, that I'm lucky to say that is going to turn 92 this May, and is still in good health. Is coming every day to check things. Also, at the same time, we have new people. And we are trying to build a team with the younger people working at our winery, and I'm lucky to have two young men. They are 25, and a woman that is a little bit older, and we are building a team of new people, and they are all so enthusiastic and passionate about their job, and we are really working um, at the project, and because the legacy of my father will be transmitted to everybody, not to to me, because I'm not really a technician of the wine making or of wine or vine growing. I'm more like a factotum, as I told, but I really would like to share my father heritage with our team, because they are a team of good people that know the job, and their passion and enthusiasm can really help our the heritage of my father to stay in the winery and be transmitted, I hopefully, to my son, which is not who is now too young to join the business.
But hopefully he will someday. Well, I'm going to ask you. You have a son, um, and you've said you've seen over the years more women in the Piemontese wine world. What do you think about the role of women in Piemontese wine now? How do you think it's going to grow in the next decade? We know that there are a lot of incredible young women coming up in Piemonte, and from famous families and from small wineries as well. And I wonder, what do you think we can do to encourage and support them in, you said, a very traditionally male dominated wine region? What would you like to see happen in the next couple of decades for women in Piemonte in the wine sector?
Uh, I think that young women in Piemonte, in and inside the wineries, are very clever, are very uh, focused, probably a little bit more than their male counterparts. Meaning, I have a son that is 19 and is still he doesn't know what he will do in the future. But I know that his female colleagues, they are much more focused at the same age. So I think that young women should mm, be should make be collaborative together. I think that if they should they improve and increase their ability to share and to go together, they can be really so strong
I,
and
I agree
powerful.
with you. I agree with you. I have the great privilege to work with quite a lot of young women in the wine industry right now in all different sectors, and I feel their strength. And I like what you said about collaborating. And of course, Le Donne del Vino is all about collaborating, um, and increasing their ability to share and to reach out to each other and to be strong together. I think that's a really good way for the future to come in Piemonte. So I can't thank you enough, Lia, for giving me this interview today. It was really lovely to speak to you and to hear such a different perspective. I'm here in rainy Verona, and you're way up there in Piemonte.
Okay, I wait for you. Please come and
I
visit us.
will. I will. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you at Vinitaly. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much, Cynthia, for inviting me.
Thank you for listening, and remember to tune in next Wednesday when I'll be chatting with another fascinating guest. Italian Wine Podcast is among the leading wine podcasts in the world and the only one with a daily show. Tune in every day and discover all our different shows. You can find us at ItalianWinePodcast.com, SoundCloud, Spotify, Himalaya, or wherever you get your pods.